Is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for New England.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. There's been a lot of discussion today about history. 2 years ago, it's been discussed here today that the Prime Minister made a certain comment in the run-up to an election. As most of us would be aware, the Prime Minister didn't win the election. She didn't win the election. This is a hung parliament. You might learn something from a little bit of history here. You might be a little bit interested.
Order. The member for New England has the right to be heard.
As the Leader of the Opposition would know very well, as the Prime Minister would know very well, and the Deputy Prime Minister for that matter would know, the decision to do something about climate change, whether it be through an emissions trading scheme or a carbon pricing arrangement, but to put a price on carbon, was a condition of the formation of government. Now, the Leader of the Opposition knows that very well, because on a number of occasions he actually begged for the job. Begged for the job. You've never denied it, Tony. You've never denied it, and you won't. He begged for the job, and he made the point, not only to me but to others that were in that negotiating period, that he would do anything to get that job. Anything to get that job. And you would well remember, and your colleagues should be aware, that the only codicil that you put on that was, I will do anything, Tony, to get this job. The only thing I wouldn't do is sell my arse.
The member for New England will resume his seat. The member for New England will resume his seat. The Manager of Opposition Business on a point of order.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I hesitate to take a point of order on the member for New England, but he does have to at least make some attempt
the
to talk to the suspension of standing orders
will resume his seat. The Manager of Opposition Business will resume his seat. And perhaps everybody should read Hansard about personal vexatious, issues. The member for New England has the call and must refer to the issue before the chair, which is the suspension.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The Leader of the Opposition is well aware of the discussions that were held. It was a condition of the formation of government. He was prepared to do anything if, in fact, he'd been called upon, and if he had been asked to put in place an emissions trading scheme or a carbon tax for that matter, he would well have done it. The fact that he wasn't asked is something of very, very good judgment in my view. Now, in terms of the substantive issue, I support the suspension of standing orders, because I think it's a debate that we should be very proud of. I'm very proud to have supported the price on carbon.
The member for Dixon will leave the chamber under 94A.
I'm very proud to have supported doing something about climate change, and I think history will judge those who have had the guts to stand up and actually try and address what is a very difficult issue in a difficult parliament. But this man, the Leader of the Opposition, was quite prepared to do that if he'd been given the nod on that particular day. I will do anything to get this job. They were the comments, and people know that, and they should know it, because you're an absolute disgrace in the way in which you're wandering around on this particular issue. You have exactly the same target as the emissions trading scheme pricing arrangements. You have exactly the same target in terms of the 1990 levels by 2020, and you have the audacity to actually say to people that you're going to achieve that target through a much more expensive arrangement than putting a price on carbon, particularly given the history that you've had in terms of this particular issue. John Howard was someone that I had disagreements with from time to time, but at least he recognised that we have to do something in terms of emissions in this world. The opportunities that exist in regional Australia in terms of the pricing arrangements and the clean energy funds, etc. And I would ask the Leader of the Opposition and other members within the chamber, just look at the meat industry in the next few months. Just look at the way in which they are going to address some of these issues. And it's all very well. Come back in a few months and tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mind that. There are enormous opportunities. enormous opportunities in terms of renewable energy, the meat industry, and I'd suggest we start to vote for the future.
The member for New England's time has expired. The question is that the motion be agreed to. All of those of that opinion say aye. To the contrary, no. Think the noes have it. Ayes have a division required. Ring the bell for 4 minutes.
You should watch those remarks. They're not covered.